I had always known that I would be marking Jurassic Park III's 25th anniversary with a retrospective piece. I never expected it would be an obituary as well. Sam Neill, the New Zealand actor who brought Dr. Alan Grant to life across 3 decades and 3 Jurassic Park films, passed away earlier this week at the age of 78, and his loss casts an undeniable shadow over this anniversary. Jurassic Park III was always going to be worth revisiting. It is also a film that belongs, permanently and poignantly, to the record of what Sam Neill gave us. The context in which Jurassic Park III arrived 25 years ago today matters. In 1993 and 1997, Steven Spielberg made 2 films based on Michael Crichton's 2 Jurassic Park novels, 2 of the defining blockbusters of their era. With both novels adapted and Spielberg's creative interest in the property satisfied, the future of the franchise was genuinely uncertain. It was Joe Johnston, a friend of Spielberg's and a director of lean, inventive genre entertainment such as Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, The Rocketeer, and Jumanji, who expressed interest in carrying the series forward, and was given the opportunity to do so. What he gave us on July 18th, 2001 may not be a great film. This is worth stating plainly because honesty is part of what retrospective appreciation requires. Jurassic Park III doesn't have the philosophical depth of its predecessors, which were thrilling but thoughtful explorations of human hubris and the fundamental illusion of controlling nature. It doesn't attempt this kind of depth, nor does it pretend to. And Roger Ebert, reviewing it on release, put it perfectly, saying that Jurassic Park III is not as awe-inspiring as the first film or as elaborate as the second, but in its own B-movie way, it's a nice little thrill machine. That is exactly the right description, and honoring what a thing actually is beats lamenting what it is not. What Joe Johnston did with Jurassic Park III was strip the franchise to its most essential mechanics. Out went the sprawling spectacle, out went the philosophical scaffolding, and out went the sense of wonder that Spielberg had cultivated so carefully. But in came a lean survival story. A small group of people stranded on Isla Sorna, hunted by prehistoric predators, and trying to get off the island alive. The horror influence is pronounced and deliberate. The Spinosaurus, the film's apex predator and its most significant contribution to the franchise's iconography, functions less like an animal and more like a slasher villain, an unstoppable force that refuses to stay down. Viewed through a horror lens rather than an adventure lens, the film's apparent weaknesses reconfigure into design choices. The relentlessness and the dread are the point. The film also gave audiences something the original novel had provided, but the previous films had withheld: the Pteranodon aviary sequence, one of the most viscerally effective set pieces in the franchise's history, brought to the screen with the commitment of a filmmaker who understood why Crichton had written it in the first place. It's terrifying in exactly the right way, using scale and sudden disorienting movement to produce a kind of helplessness in the audience that the more controlled spectacle of the earlier films had occasionally smoothed away. This is what the third film does best. It makes you feel small, and in a franchise about human beings confronting natural forces beyond their control, feeling small is the whole point. But it is Sam Neill's return that the film's anniversary now belongs to most completely. Neill himself said in 2021, while promoting Jurassic World Dominion, that he thought he was actually better in the third film than in the original. That by the time he got to Jurassic Park III, he had worked out how to play an action hero in a way he hadn't fully figured out before. I hadn't really worked out how to do that until I got to number 3, but I think I'm actually better in the third one. I don't think it ends so well, it ends in a hurry, but I agree. I think it comes in for quite a bit of criticism and that it's dismissed too easily. I think it's actually, apart from that last 10 minutes, I think it's actually really pretty damn good. The fact that most critics disagreed at the time did not seem to particularly trouble him. Sam Neill had always been more interested in the work than in the reception, which is one of the things that made him such a reliable and frequently underappreciated screen presence. He leaves behind a body of work that includes The Piano, Dead Calm, Event Horizon, and a great deal more besides 3 Jurassic Park films. But those 3 films, and particularly Jurassic Park III, are as good a monument as any to what he brought to the screen. Beyond its intrinsic qualities, Jurassic Park III's historical significance to the franchise cannot be overstated. It proved that the series could continue beyond the novels that had originally generated it. That proof enabled 4 further sequels. The tradition the third film began, of each installment centering on a different apex predator, became a structural element of the franchise's ongoing expansion. The pteranodons leaving the island at the film's close seeded a story thread the later films developed into one of their central preoccupations. And the satellite phone ringtone, that absurd, cheerful interruption in the midst of prehistoric terror, has become a kind of shibboleth among Jurassic Park fans, a piece of sonic shorthand that identifies shared experience across a generation. Joe Johnston went on to direct further great works of genre cinema, most notably Captain America the First Avenger in 2011, bringing to that project the same instincts for period-inflected adventure that had served him throughout his career. Most recently, he directed the second season of the documentary series Light and Magic in 2025. Meanwhile, the franchise he helped sustain in its most uncertain moments has become one of the most commercially successful in cinema history. Jurassic Park III is not a great film, and it was never going to be, but it is exactly what it needed to be. A nice little thrill machine that kept a franchise alive long enough to become something larger than anyone expected. And it gave Sam Neill another opportunity to play Dr. Alan Grant, the paleontologist who never wanted to be on that island in the first place, and who kept saving people there anyway. Sam Neill played Dr. Grant 3 times, and every time, he got it exactly right. Somewhere in the world right now, that ringtone is playing in someone's pocket, and another fan is looking up to find out who else recognized it. That is Jurassic Park 3's legacy in this franchise. Small, absurd, beloved, and completely irreplaceable. This one is for Sam Neill. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite Sam Neill performance? And do you think Jurassic Park 3 deserves more credit than it gets? And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Fandom Frontline for more deep dives into the stories that shape our fandom.